Hey everyone, Jonesy here. A couple weeks ago, I was approached by a few high school seniors who had a number of questions for me that covered finances, life, retirement, and just some various things that they're curious about. And they were actually doing a media event um, as part of the interview. And so I've got a list of the questions here. And today I'm going to talk about one question, which is why is it important to start saving for retirement even at a young age? That's an awesome question, and particularly for someone who has still not graduated high school yet, already starting to think about retirement, what that looks like, what they need to do. So I'm going to take that question and then I'm going to add a little more twist to it. Because you see, my wife and I, we have a senior in high school. We also have a junior in college. And so what does that mean? Real soon, we're going to be empty nesters. And so part of the things I'm going to go through today will answer the question, what can you do to prepare for retirement at an early age? But then also, I'm going to give some things that we did along our journey whenever we first got jobs, started a family, worked through our careers, had children, and then now we're at the empty nester phase, soon to be at the empty nester phase, and we're still not yet to retirement. So, here are some additional things that we are planning and prepping for whenever that time comes. So, hope you enjoy this video. Come along. So, first of all, to kind of outline the pattern that I'm going to talk through. Now, I know that the order of this timeline does not always happen in this way, but this will be the scenarios that I'm going to play out. After graduation, whether that's high school, college, whatever, we'll start a job. Then comes marriage. Then comes kids. Then college for the kids. Empty nesters. Empty nesters still working. Retirement. So now let's talk about getting that first job. You first need to find out what benefits that your employer offers. If your employer offers a retirement plan, such as a 401k, that within your budget, you try to automatically pay into your retirement as much as you can from day one. The key to this is to create healthy saving habits. If you create these healthy saving habits early on and you carry those through your entire career, that's going to be a huge snowball effect. And just like a snowball, it first starts out as a snowflake, and then it gets a little bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you make your contributions every week, every other week, every month, whenever you're paid, and then interest will be added on to that because those monies are invested. That teeny tiny snowflake is going to compound into a huge snowball, a huge bag of money, so that you can retire either at the normal retirement age, whether that's in your 60s or maybe even early retirement. Just totally up to you. I would recommend that you at least begin putting in 10% of your pay, but soon after that, you really want to crank that up to 12 or even 15%. If you're able to achieve the IRS's max contribution per year, which that changes from year to year, so you have to look that up, start with that. Again, that's automatically money that you're paying your future self, and your future self will look back and say thank you. Also, one more thing, if your employer offers a deferred compensation plan, you want to participate in that as well. Essentially, what that is that you are deferring your compensation to your future self. So the money that goes in is pre-tax, it's invested, and whenever you retire, and there can be variations with the plan. Um, my plan that I have, for example, is beginning the year that I retire, it will then kick in for the next 10 years. So however much that I contribute to that deferred compensation plan, I know that for the next 10 years, I will have a stream of income coming in from what I deferred when I was working. And now the next step will be marriage. Whenever you get married, you obviously have a lot of interest with your spouse. Hopefully, that's the reason why you got married. Um, but you also want to make sure that you're on the same page financially. So, my biggest advice is to learn how to borrow responsibly. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you need to set up a budget. It's really difficult for you to know exactly what you're spending, where your money is going to, if you don't set up a budget. And within that budget, again, going back to this topic, how to plan early for retirement, you need to go ahead and set up in that budget savings that you're going to be saving on a weekly, on a monthly, on a yearly basis. And what that looks like. You need to factor in pay adjustments. You need to factor in bonuses. You need to factor in commission checks. Anything like that. It's good to incrementally keep some of that money for your normal spending. To keep up with inflation. The price of gas, the price of eggs, everything like that is going to continue to go up. So you want to keep some of that for yourself, but as you get pay increases and as you get a bonus and as you get commission checks, you essentially want to already have that kind of factored in and pay yourself and put it towards savings. Again, by doing that, your future self is going to look back and thank your past self. Now, what do I mean by borrow responsibly? Um, Whenever you're starting out in life, most likely you are going to have to take out a mortgage to buy that home. Most likely you're going to have to take out car loans to buy your car, get to work, get to the grocery store, all the things that you need for vehicles. But again, it goes back to your budget, and you don't want to make things so tight that you end up not able to save. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and you don't have emergency funds set up for emergencies. If your car breaks down, um, if you would get hurt on the job, if you get laid off, whatever the case may be, you need to have a reserve set up. Again, that goes back to your budget. You need to factor that into your budget. The biggest thing that I see people go sideways with borrowing money are with credit cards. Credit cards, um, even though there is some form of underwriting with credit cards, there's a lot less underwriting, and it's much easier to get credit cards than it may be for a house loan or a car loan. And so, a quick example is during the holidays, whenever you go into different retail shops, they're going to ask you, hey, you can save 10% today on this purchase if you open up a credit card. And yeah, you are giving them your information, but they run it through, and pretty much if you're breathing, you're most likely going to get a credit card. That doesn't mean that you deserve one or that you've earned one, but they're pretty much going to give it to you. And for the most case, they may predetermine your card limit. So, in your mind, if you're only thinking, okay, well, I'm going to get a credit card and it's only going to have $1,000 max balance on it. Today, we're going to give you a limit of 3,500. You say, oh, well, okay, what's a big deal? Well, you do that 3 or 4 times and you get 3 or 4 different cards with these higher limits, and swiping the card can get addicting. And people that have that many cards fall into traps, and then they're not able to dig themselves out. And from my history, from what I've seen, credit card, it ranks right up there with the top of a lot of problems as to why people file bankruptcy or while they're habitually past due on their loans, and just a negative domino effect. So I'm not saying credit cards are bad. In my opinion, you need at least one credit card, maybe two. That's about it, and that's total between you and your household. So, um, learn to borrow responsibly. So after you got the job, after you've got married, after you've uh, started a small family, got your house, got your cars, along come kids. Yep, kids are fun. They're a blast. I love my two boys. My experiences with them have been the best joys of my life that I could ever imagine. Wouldn't trade them for the world. But kids are very expensive. uh, again, between clothes, between food, between diapers. And as they get older, they start to get involved in their own things, what they should. Both of my boys have always been involved in sports, and that's been something introduced that by their mother and I. We've always felt that athletics is a good foundation, a good way to meet other kids, interact kids, and learn how to win, learn how to lose, and take instructions from other people, and just all those things that you learn with sports. Uh, but it can be very expensive to pay to be on a sports team, to pay for the equipment, all the travel back and forth, staying in the hotels, all that type of thing, gets very, very costly. So with kids, here's a couple things that I highly suggest that again falls into how can you plan for retirement? Because ultimately, you can only carry your kids so far, and sooner or later, you got to cut the cord. What I say, you got to cut the cord. Cut, cut, cut. And whenever you cut, you're sending them off on their own. Hopefully, they'll be great citizens. They'll contribute the way that they need to. Be great to their family, have great jobs, and all those things. But along the way, here's what we have done to some extent, and here's kind of some other things that I've seen other people do that makes a lot of sense. So, one, once that child is born, you need to set up a 529 college savings plan. And within that college savings plan, you need to let all of your friends and family know that this fund exists. And yeah, it's okay at the birthday parties and Christmas and different holidays throughout the year to get them a little bit of a gift. But you've got that 529 savings plan, and it would be a smart thing to say, rather than getting Billy a gift, why don't you gift him $10 or $20 to go into his savings fund? Or from mom and dad's perspective, instead of buying 3 or 4 gifts that they can unwrap, um, buy 2 gifts and then take the money for that third gift that you would have got and just stash it away. When they're young, when they're small, they won't know the difference. And then as they grow up, you can explain to them, hey, Billy, hey, Susie, we have set up this college fund for you. And here's $10, here's $15, whatever it is. We're going to put, that toward your college fund. And believe me, whenever the time rolls around, uh, they should be appreciative, they being the kids. The kids should be very appreciative of that. And you are going to thank yourself for setting that up the moment that they're born and getting that started from day one. Another option that you could do is that for every child that is born, go out and buy a rental property. And I'm not talking about a beach house rental property or something like that, but just a nice average home that you can buy, maybe buy it at a foreclosure, maybe buy it at an estate auction, maybe buy it from a family member, whatever the case may be. Try to find a good deal on a rental home, and if you need to finance it, which most likely you may need to, run the numbers and set it up on no longer than a 20-year amortization I would probably try to squeeze in a 15-year amortization. And so if you are purchasing that home year one of when that child is born, you then have, you essentially, assuming that you're able to keep it rented and that you factored in a lot of the upkeep and the ongoing maintenance for that home into your rentals, and you have to work it. It's not going to be just an automatic thing that you buy it, set back for the next 15, 20 years and not have to do anything. You're going to have to put some sweat equity into it. But if you buy that home year one when they're born, and again, like I said, if you do a 20-year amortization, you're going to be within just a couple of years of having it down to a zero balance, and maybe through other funds, you'd have a way to just pay it off. Or if you set up a 15-year amortization and get to a point so that it is absolutely paid off uh, by the time that that child graduates high school and gets ready to enter in college, you then have two options. Either one, you sell the rental home, it's free and clear. That could be $100,000, that could be $200,000, it could be 150, could be 75. Who knows? But that is cash in your pocket that someone else helped pay for. Option two could be to keep the property. And again, you no longer have a bank payment. You were probably able to raise the rents a couple times during the course of owning that property. So essentially, that property may be able to carry and pay for your son or daughter's college without you selling the home. And so then if you're able to do that, then you kind of have a couple other options down the road. You keep the home, you keep it rented, you continue to pay for your son or daughter to go to school. They graduate, and then if you need the money, then again you sell it, you cash it in, and parents keep the money. Or maybe you've made some other investments along the way, and then you can gift that home to your son or daughter, and that could be their starter home. And if that's the case, it's a paid for home. If you are able to gift it to them, that's helping them get off to the right start, starting off life debt free, and having equity in something to build on. So I mean, there's lots of different options of how to do that. So again, setting up a 529 plan and or purchasing a rental per child can help you achieve retirement whenever you're ready for it. Another goal that I would suggest as you are preparing yourself for retirement is to have your mortgage paid off by the time that your kids go to college. Your mortgage payment is likely your largest payment that you have, and by freeing up that money, it can do a few things. One, it's going to take off a lot of stress whenever you know that your kids are going to college. And, if you are in a position or going to be in a position to help them through college, you know that you're going to be paying out some additional monies, whether it's for their food, their gas, their housing, whatever the case may be. And so by having a free and clear mortgage, relieving that payment is going to help you get through those years. By having a paid off mortgage, that can create another snowball effect by taking the mortgage payment that you typically make, turn that into savings, push it out either to stocks, bonds, a money market account. If you haven't maxed out your 401k, do those things. Again, take that mortgage payment, save, and then that will even set you up and accelerate you into retirement. So again, the question is, why is it important to start savings for retirement at a young age? Well, according to LendingTree, did you know that 97.1% of U.S. adults aged 66 to 71 have debt? This includes non-mortgage debt like credit card balances, auto loans, and personal loans. Credit card debt accounts to 92.6%. Auto loan debt accounts to about 37%. Personal loan debt, 20%. And then other debt is roughly 13%. And now, according to the Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University, over 40% of homeowners over 64 have a mortgage in retirement. Another fact is 20% of adults ages 50 and over have no retirement savings at all. 61% are worried they will not have enough money to support themselves in retirement. So hopefully this information in the video can be helpful for you to determine why it is important to start saving at a young age when you get your first job, planning toward retirement. I know looking back, when you are in your early 20s and you think, I'm just starting my career, I have my entire life, why should I think about retirement then? And that's what I was thinking as well. But I tell you what, it goes by super fast, particularly if you have a family, if you have children. That is the time when time kind of escapes from you and you're so involved in all the family activities, which you need to be. You very much need to be, but you don't want to forget about your end goal, because ultimately what is going to happen, what's supposed to happen, is that your kids will grow up, they will move out of the house. You don't want to be at the end of that road where everything just flew by so quick, and then you start thinking, okay, well, retirement should just be right around the corner, and then you're surprised, and you become a percent of those people who either still have a lot of debt leaning over your shoulders, or you didn't take the actions early enough in life to start to build that snowball effect for your savings so that you can enjoy retirement, enjoy your go-go years, and enjoy your slow years and just the final chapters in life. So hopefully this information was helpful. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned to the next one. Make every day an adventure. See ya.